All right. This is the interview with One Man Crew. So what's up, man? How's everything going?
Going pretty good, man.
What have you been working on?
I've been working on some new beats. I just put out a new album called Legend of the Earth. It's on, it's everywhere. You can find it. Go look it up. I'm just kidding. Don't listen to it.
Tell me about that. What was your mindset going into your latest album?
I just want to make songs that were personal to me, and before my last album was called I Will Never Quit. I wanted to make more of a mainstream product, and I wanted to cater to every demographic in my last album, but this new one, I just said I'm going to do myself. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm just going to make my beats are going to be my pain, and my lyrics are going to be my truth. And then I made an album. I just made a collection of songs that were, each song was personal to me, and it was about my own experience or my own, like, what I've witnessed, my own perception.
Yeah, I noticed when I'm listening to the album, it is very personal. Like, it seems like there's working through some things, and it does sound very personal. Is that indicative of the art you create, or just where you're at right now?
Just at the time that I made it was the time, that was what I was at the time. That was what I was going through.
Okay. And so when you think about what you create, do you have, like, what's your intention? Do you have an intention, or are you going through what you're feeling at the time, like project by project?
The truth is, I actually don't care about what other people think about my music anymore. I just do it because I love it. I do it because it's my passion. I do it because it's how I give myself therapy. It's how I can vent. So I don't worry about, like, what other people expect or what other people think about my stuff, because some things can be excellent to somebody and then another person will think it is terrible, or vice versa. Like, everybody's different, everybody's perception is different. So I know whatever I make, it doesn't matter what I make, as long as it's professionally made and high quality and it has a intricate degree of composition, somebody's gonna like it. So right. I just make what I enjoy making. I'm not worried about being a famous artist or nothing like that. I don't give a shit about none of that. I'm just trying to do me and just try to be a good person first and foremost, and then translate my emotions into my music. And if some people can relate to it, then that's great. If they can't relate to it, then I don't fault them for it. I don't mind. It's all good,
You also spent some time early in your career as a professional wrestler. When did you make the switch, and how did you make the switch?
All right. Yeah, I was a pro wrestler. I still kind of am. Like, I could just up and go to Japan or Australia or Mexico or even the Philippines or back to the US and go wrestle, or even England or wherever I want to go. I can just go and do it. But right now I'm at a place in my life where I'm just focusing on my music and on my artistry and on myself as a person, and just growing as a person. And then maybe, if it makes sense from a business standpoint, I might wrestle again. But I really value what I'm doing as a artist and as a musician and as an audio engineer. Like, I'm happy with producing music and just living like a regular person. Just it's better that way for me, mentally and physically.
What are some of the parallels between being a pro wrestler and being a rapper, an artist in that respect? What do they share in common?
The grind, like being on the road, having to try to sell merchandise, having to perform every night, having to stay in hotels and sleep on concrete floors and in internet cafes and on buses and trains, and cars, dude. Like, it's insane. It's really the same thing, basically, except the performing music isn't as hard on the body, obviously, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not hard on the body, because it is, but it's not nearly as bad as performing as a pro wrestler.
You're largely self-taught, right? Never really going through a whole lot of formal education.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, I've had people like take me under their wing and give me a crash course here and there, and you know, coach me and give me pointers and work out with me and train with me a little bit. But I never went through any kind of formal like 6 month to a year training as a pro wrestler or as a musician. I never went to school for it, or as a rapper or anything. I just kind of learn by experience. Just trial and error, and then learning from my errors.
Okay. What artists do you admire?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, man, I like it all. I borrow from everything. Like, everything is like this mutation, like this melting pot mutation of what I absorb. I soak it all in like a sponge. If I like it, I like it, and I'm gonna use something from it. And like, but the ones I quote unquote hold in high esteem, I don't like doing that because I feel like it's idolatry, and it's just like kind of, I think it's ridiculous. The whole celebrity thing, it's all bullshit. So, but as far as like just respecting other artists and liking their work. Like, I like a lot of artists and stuff. I like ICP, I like Eminem, I like Tupac, I like Future, Metallica, Ace of Base. I like so much different shit, man, that I borrow from all of it. But as far as Insane Clown Posse goes, like, I worked with them, like, for their wrestling company, and I got to meet Violent J. He's a pretty cool guy. And it kind of opened my eyes to their movement that they have, and so I got a lot of respect for Insane Clown Posse.
Who's somebody that you worked with that helped open your eyes and mind to this whole music industry?
Well, Bizarre from D12, he's kind of put me on game on some stuff, like just by talking to him and dealing with him, about the money shit and having to pay engineers and pay graphic designers and pay music video editors and all this stuff. That's why I don't pay nobody now. I just do it all. I learned how to do it all by myself. That way I don't have to kind of rob Peter to pay Paul kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to charge this guy a bunch of money because I owe this guy a bunch of money. I'll just do it all by myself. That was my philosophy on it. So, like, just the kind of people, like, working with Esham, working with Lil White, working with, of course, Bizarre, who I mentioned, and, Seed of Six. I work with Mars, I work with Beast Sinister, Dark Hills Gang, Mike P, who used to produce for Insane Clown Posse, Fritz the Cat, who used to produce for Twisted and Insane Clown Posse. I work with a lot of guys, and some of them I can't even remember. Oh yeah, Jimmy Bauer from Down. He's pretty cool. He made a drum track for me. But anyway, just dealing with all these guys and talking to them has taught me a lot about like the whole grind and the whole hustle of it. And like this guy named Intrinsic, I've never actually worked with him, but I've done business with him, where I like paid him to be on this mixtape, and he would send me X amount of hundred of copies of it, and then I would sell those copies. And just learning how to hustle and learning how to talk and learning how to bring something to the table. Like, you got to bring something to the table. This business is all about money, and that's one of the reasons why I cut the money out of it and just make it about the art. Is I just learned how to do everything by myself. I do my own graphic design, I do my own video editing, I make my own beats, I'm my own audio engineer.
So that has me wondering, what does success mean to you? Like, we always talk about, I made it. But what does that mean to you? Like, how do you know you're successful? What would be the marker?
Just waking up every day and not being in any kind of trouble, not being in any kind of... Like, to me, success is just waking up and breathing. And that's a success to me.
Okay.
Taking a shower, going to work, spending time with friends and family. That's success to me. Like, anything that makes you happy is success. So it makes me happy to make my music. I make my album, it's completed, I'm listening to it, I'm happy. I get like a little high off of it that, oh my god, I can't believe I created this is my stuff, like completely original, my own art.
Yeah.
That gives me kind of a rush, gives me a kind of a high. So to me, that's the success part of it. Anything else is just a bonus.
Do you have any other goals as an artist?
Yeah, I got some goals as an artist. I want to sell at least 100,000 copies before it's over with.
With this current album or in total?
In total. I want to sell at least 100,000.
Where you at right now?
20,000. Yeah, around 20,000.
Are there any particular artists today that you would want to work with?
Oh yeah. I'll work with just about anybody if, like, A, they're already established, or B, they got money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I would like to work with just all the guys that I used to, that influenced me in a way, like, kind of people from the 90s and the 2000s that I kind of grew up listening to. Like, anybody from that era, I would definitely work with. Like, seriously.
What do you, when somebody listens to your album, what do you hope that they take away from it?
Oh, I just hope that they feel some kind of release from it, or some kind of temporary escape from reality, or that they can relate to something and it'll help them vent the same kind of frustrations that I had in whatever I was talking about, whatever subject in whichever song. Or maybe touch somebody's heart with some stuff. Like, it's like choose your own adventure type thing with my new album. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for me, it's just, if people like it and they think it's good or whatever, or if it makes them happy, if it impacts them or influences them in some kind of way, you know, then I did my job. You know what I mean?
Right. I get that. What advice would you have for young artists?
Learn how to do everything yourself or have some money.
Okay. Were there any particular successes or failures early on that were important to shaping you?
Oh yeah, tons. Oh my god.
Like what?
Fuck, man. Oh, pardon my language. Well, you know, sometimes you might invest a bunch of money into something that you think's gonna work, and then it don't really work, and then you threw all that money in the trash. But that's what it feels like at first. But then later down the road, it'll pay off in some way. You'll get some kind of blessing from it. Like, you'll learn from it, or something kind of...
Do you have a specific event in mind?
Not really, man, because there's so many tragedies that's happened in my life, too. Like, I mean, you know, like, my dad was real hard on me. Like, then that's an understatement. That shaped me a little bit. Getting accused falsely of things and being punished by it kind of shaped me a little bit. And like, some things humbled me, like having injuries from wrestling and stuff like that. And there's so many different things that have happened in my life. Like, I've been homeless. I've had so many ups and downs, and being in that kind of experience it makes it easier to kind of empathize with people. So that kind of helped me a lot. You know what I mean? Like, just learning how to care about other people's feelings. And
yeah, it's one of the takeaways I have when I listen to your music is there's a desire to connect with other people and also let other people know that, you know, they don't have to go, you know, they don't have to feel alone about certain things. At least some of the darker side, you know, I think there's some other like braggadocious, and we talk about some of your accomplishments and, you know, riding around in limos with Hall of Famers and some of your accomplishments as a wrestler.
No, well, here's the thing is, like, ultimately I want to be accepted by people. I mean, there's always, for some reason, for a long time, I always sought approval. Never getting approval from my father was like a motivational thing. And it gave me a thick skin.
Okay.
And so when other people would hate on me, it would be nothing to me. I would laugh at it. And then I'll eventually learn how to use it. Okay, I'm gonna laugh at all these motherfuckers when I prove them wrong.
Oh, okay.
And back when people would tell me I'll never do this and I'll never do that, like, then I'd turn around and did it. That was what got me off. Like, just like being able to throw it back in their face, like, yeah, well, you said I'd never do it, and I fucking knocked it out of the park. So
yeah, I know you watched a lot of movies. In fact, we were talking about Parasite a little bit earlier. What do you see the connection as far as art goes between the connection between writing and film or music or otherwise? Is that kind of thing important to consider when you're creating projects? Like, do you conceptualize your album as like a movie, or a song as a movie, or an episode, or anything like that?
Well, it can work both ways. You can work on music and have visuals in mind for it, and you can work on a film project and have audio in mind for it. You know what I mean? Like, you can. There's so many things that can inspire you, like, to do certain things. Like, sometimes you just have like a dream about something, and then wake up and then you start working and you create something out of it. You know what I mean? Like.
So it's almost as if you're saying, like, as an artist, it's important to work with what you got.
Yeah, it's whatever pops in your head that's like, oh shit, this sounds like a good idea. Then you just go off of it and build something around it. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of great people have done. Like, great directors, we're talking about film, like James Cameron. He had a dream about like a skeleton in a fire or something like that, and then that's what he formed the basis for the Terminator coming out of the fire when he got his skin melted off. That image was in his mind. That's what gave him the idea to make the movie Terminator, is that one image in his mind. And then he built like a classic movie just around that.
Yeah. Well, I think we've kind of covered everything. And anything else you think young aspiring artists should consider as they're plotting their journey?
Yeah, you might not be as good as you think you are at first. Like, you might think you're the bomb at first, and then over time even you'll learn, oh shit, I still need to develop. There's still things that I need to learn. I'm still growing, I'm still improving. And like, even me, like, as I still evolve, I still improve, I still grow. So I shed the whole ego thing a long time ago. So whenever you're going up to people like me, or like experienced people, and like, don't like walk up to them and be like thinking you're the shit or something, because you'll turn people off that way. And if you're just chilling and you're cool and you're just like a regular normal person, you're good. Eventually they'll figure out like what you can do, and then you have a chance to work with people. You know what I mean? That's
a good point. I think a lot of people don't understand that, I mean, no matter what path you choose, you have to be prepared for a life of learning. Like, it doesn't ever stop. There's always going to be something new to learn. I think a lot of times people think that they graduate from school or whatever, and then that's when learning stops. But being able to check the ego at the door and commit to a life of learning is really a critical point. All right, man. It's been great talking to you. I really appreciate it. Once again, we're with One Man Crew, recording live in Hagåtña, Guam. All right. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.